South Africa, it is time to awaken to the unsettling reality within the union buildings. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of our nation's most closely guarded secrets, a mystery residing silently beside the president himself. A mystery that Julius Malema has vocally challenged for years, yet one the mainstream media continues to treat as a forbidden subject. Where is Dr. Tshipho Matsip? Why does our First Lady remain so quiet, so unseen, so isolated from the South African public? What is the Ramaphosa family concealing? This is not mere gossip, it is a critical examination of power, riches, influence, and a silence that speaks volumes. If you believe this is simply about a spouse valuing her privacy, you are missing the bigger picture. Let's start with the fundamental concern. In South Africa, the position of First Lady has never been one of obscurity. Never. We witnessed Zenani Dlamini's activism in women's development. We saw Tabika Madiba Zuma attending events and spearheading initiatives. Even the more reserved Sizikile Zuma was present and involved. So why does Dr. Tshipho Matsip represent such a stark contrast? A phantom in the presidential residence. A specialist in public health who scarcely participates in that very field. A First Lady who does not address the nation. A leader's companion who is never observed in a leadership role. Julius Malema identified this anomaly early. He raised it in the open. He called for answers. And what was President Cyril Ramaphosa's reply? A medical explanation. A knee surgery. Crutches. Restricted mobility. All right, that is understandable. People undergo medical procedures, people heal. But South Africans, before that knee narrative emerged, where was she? And now, after her recovery, where is she today? No government, no presidency, goes to such lengths to conceal something without a compelling motive. Let's trace the financial trail. Dr. Tshipho Matsip is no ordinary private individual. She belongs to one of the nation's most affluent and politically woven families. Her brother is Patrice Motsepe, a billionaire mining tycoon. Her sister is Bridget Radebe, a powerful business figure with marital ties to high-level politics. Her husband is President Cyril Ramaphosa, a multimillionaire leading the country. This is more than a family, it is a formidable empire. An empire constructed on riches and authority that directly permeates government policymaking. The First Lady is not merely a wife, she is a component of a dynasty. So, the crucial inquiry is this: why conceal a dynasty? Why isolate the populace from the most powerful woman within the presidency? Is the silence meant to safeguard her? Or is it intended to safeguard him? Let's examine this more closely. In 2018, Malema stood in Parliament and launched a political projectile. Why is the First Lady not seen? Why is she not fulfilling her national duties as her predecessors did? That query destabilized the presidency because it targeted a vulnerability, a sensitive issue the Ramaphosa administration did not wish to discuss. We received no clear answer, only diversion, evasion, sentimental narratives, and health-related justifications. The presidency was anxious, unmistakably so. That is when suspicions were confirmed, for when a leader dreads a question, it often means the question has struck a nerve. Let's consider the pattern of visibility and sway. Every instance involving Dr. Matsip is orchestrated, managed, and limited: a smile at a children's book launch, an appearance at a select medical function, delivering pre-written speeches. These are not acts of leadership, they are public relations exercises. Where are the policy initiatives? Where are the nationwide efforts for women's health? Where is the support for combating gender-based violence? Where is the work to uplift rural women? Where is the public platform every other First Lady has occupied? Silence. What is being protected by the silence? We must interpret the political dimension. Ramaphosa's leadership is founded on a story of ethical governance, of being Mr. Anti-Corruption. Yet, he is enveloped by a web of corporate interests directly connected to state contracts. Motsip enterprises are tied to crucial national sectors. Billions flow through mining, energy, infrastructure, and finance. Should Dr. Matsip become an active public figure, examination would intensify. The press would investigate. Inquiries would grow. Is official power aiding her family's network? Who gains from decisions made in confidential cabinet meetings? Why do contracts in mining and energy consistently return to the same prominent names? Perhaps silence is not a shortcoming. Perhaps it is a shield against revelation. Let's examine the political narrative. Cyril Ramaphosa crafted his persona around stable family ideals, pleasant, secure, and dignified, a contrast to the prior turmoil. But when a nation's first lady is absent from public view, that mirage shatters. The carefully built persona falls apart. A leader who professes unity cannot sequester his partner from the people. Malema understands this and wields it as a tool, for each mention of Chipo Matsip's name causes Cyril visible distress. The veneer weakens. The presidency is exposed. This indicates a single reality: the truth is hidden within the silence. Let's contrast public responsibility with private advantage. South Africa is in crisis. Poverty has reached unprecedented heights. Unemployment is crippling a generation. Women confront daily violence. Children endure inadequate health care. We have a First Lady with advanced qualifications in public health, yet she is barred from leading. Not due to incapability, but because leadership would make her prominent, and prominence would reveal the empire. We have a billionaire family enjoying extreme privilege, yet they remain invisible as the nation struggles. Why? Because it would highlight the vast separation between their world and ours. It would unmask the falsehood that Cyril Ramaphosa relates to the common citizen. Now, let's probe further. Could Dr. Matsip's absence be a tactical maneuver in a political game? While the president is besieged by controversies, internal ANC conflicts, and corruption claims, the less the First Lady is seen, the less she can be associated with any potential collapse. If Cyril falls from power, she remains unscathed, shielded, and secure, prepared for the dynasty's subsequent phase. Understand this clearly: this is not a tale of a timid doctor. It is the story of a shielded individual in a critical battle for control. A deliberate silence. A silence that protects wealth. A silence that protects sway. A silence that protects secrets. South Africans, the presidency is not a private home. It is a national institution, and every person within it, whether voted in or married in, must be transparent before the nation. So, what is the conclusion? We must insist on clarity. What is the true cause for the First Lady's seclusion? Why is a skilled public health professional prevented from leading? Why is she only visible in prearranged settings? Why did Julius Malema's inquiry so alarm the president? Why does the fortune around the family avoid examination? And the most significant question, is Dr. Chipo Matsip's muteness her own decision, or is it a managed tactic of suppression? History shows us that when the people are denied the truth, it is because the truth endangers those in authority. So, South Africa, I pose this to you: are we observing a private individual choosing a quiet life, or are we observing the tactical vanishing of the most politically linked woman in the nation? Which scenario poses a greater risk to the presidency? Which poses a greater risk to the truth? Which poses a greater risk to the structure of power? The decision is yours. Let the country debate. Let the truth emerge. Let the silence be broken. For in politics, silence is never without meaning. Share your views below and do not hesitate.